Hey Dunchbags, what's going on? It's Landon Remixes here, and it is time for my review of this new EP from Gammer called The Drop. Gammer is a UK-based hardcore and bass music producer who's been picking up a lot of steam lately thanks to his contributions to Monstercat, as well as his collaborations with numerous respected artists such as the current reigning king of the hardcore scene, Keizo. Gammer seems to be noted as a bit of a legend in the UK hardcore scene. The dude's been making music in that scene since 2002. Although my personal journey with Gammer is very similar to that of my situation with Dirty Phonics, where I really didn't start listening to Gammer closely until he started doing releases through Monstercat earlier this year. I actually don't even think my knowledge of Gammer predates the remix of Porter Robinson's Language that he did with Keizo. I think it was just last year. So yeah, I'd say my journey with Gammer has been a pretty short-lived one so far. Though I will concur with his status as a legendary DJ and producer in the UK hardcore scene, unfortunately, his career with Monstercat has left him as easily one of the most hit-or-miss artists on the label for me. I don't think I've ever actually said this in a video, but Gammer's debut on Monstercat, the Darren Styles collaboration Feel Like This, is actually among my least favorite Monstercat releases of all time, up there with Superhuman by Slander and United by Eminence. The vocals are whack, it's incredibly cheesy, the rhyming scheme and the lyrics is just terrible. The drop is so unoriginal and uninspired, it sounds like something Stonebank could have come up with and fleshed out in like 15 minutes. And honestly, I think it was just Monstercat's way of getting both Darren Styles and Gammer on the label with a release that was at least somewhat poppy. I just hated it so much. But then, Gammer did a complete 180 just a couple months later when he released his remix of Go Berserk by Pegboard Nerds, which I can happily say is one of the most wild and wacky remixes I have ever had the pleasure of feasting my ears on. Following that remix, Gammer released a few really enjoyable singles like Over the Edge with Keizo in August and Party Don't Stop with Darren Styles and Dougal. Although I'd much say I preferred the sooner over the latter, I still really enjoy both of the songs. And you know, Gammer seemed to be going on an upward curve, slowly becoming one of my favorite artists on the label. But then came Let's Get Crunk, and my expectations for Gammer as a producer totally plummeted at that point. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Let's Get Crunk is absolutely terrible all the way around, just most of the way around. I actually really like the more melodic synth work Gammer did on this song. It reminds me of something Astronaut would have done in 2013 or 2014. But that takes up very little space in the song's running length. The vast majority of this song is taken up by these really empty and uninspired BROSTEP drops, which seem to be composed of not much more than a simple sine wave bass line and a bunch of really generic dubstep loops. On top of that, the song isn't really crunk at all, which is kind of a shame in my opinion, because I would have actually liked to see Gammer try out crunk music. Little did I know, Let's Get Crunk was only the first installment of a 4-track EP Gammer was going to release on Monstercat, and that, well, spoiler alert, I was really going to like the EP. In my opinion, releasing Let's Get Crunk as the first single from this EP was really not fair to Gammer because it really does not paint a good picture of what this EP has to offer. I mean, none of the tracks in this EP are really super similar, but it definitely would have been more fitting to have Stay Tonight or the title track, The Drop, as the lead single, considering they both infuse elements of dubstep and hard dance. But I mean, in the end, maybe releasing Let's Get Crunk as the first single was a good idea, because I don't know about y'all, but I like this EP a lot more because I had my expectations so low following that song. And just overlooking it, Let's Get Crunk is really the only bad apple on this EP. Stay Tonight is an absolute jam, and one that I found myself coming back to almost every day after the song's release. I even highly considered it for my top 5 for Monstercat Uncaged Volume 3, but probably didn't include it because although the vocals are really well executed, they're a little bit cheesy, and the song's first drop reminded me a lot of Keizo's style, notably the song This Time. Regardless, the track is still an absolute banger and packs a ton of punch. I especially love that switch into dubstep during the second half of the first drop. The song Beam of Light sees Gammer going back into that same happy UK hardcore style we saw in Feel Like This, but in my opinion it was executed a lot better. Notably for Gammer keeping vocals out of the center stage on this song, because really in UK hardcore, I think the melody and the energy should really be the driving force behind a song, and that's precisely what he does on Beam of Light. The song is perfectly energetic and the melody is absolutely infectious. It's also really cool that the melody varies from drop to drop. I really like it when artists switch things up like that. And although this song definitely isn't my absolute favorite in the genre, I liked it enough, but not as much as the title track, Good lord. And I mean, my favorite track on this EP is definitely a close race between Stay Tonight and The Drop, but if I had to choose one, it would probably be this one. I mean, there's a ton to love about this track, from its Legend of Zelda influenced intro, to its minimalistic yet still very impactful lead used in The Drop, to its absolutely bone-rattling psytrance bass line. There's not much wrong to be found in this track. So yeah, you could definitely say I like this EP a lot, at least for what it is. I can't really see us all a few years down the road looking back at the Drop EP saying, wow, that was such an amazing or impactful EP. I mean, much like trap rap has been in 2017, this is very consumable entertainment music. I don't think this is meant to be really anything past that. But for now, I can say that I do enjoy it a lot. For the Drop EP, I'm probably feeling a strong 6.5 out of 10. Never thought I'd ever say that, considering how awful I thought Let's Get Crunk was, but here we are. If you do want to check out this EP for yourselves, if you have not listened to it, I do have the Spotify link down in the description, and if you have listened to this EP, make sure to let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyway, I'm Landon Remixes, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you later. Peace! Wow.